Assalamu alaikum guys. Before I start this video, there's something urgent I have to tell you about Afghanistan. I don't know if you guys saw the floods that have happened there. Obviously there's a lot going on in the world in lots of different places, especially Muslim countries, and Gaza is always in the spotlight right now, rightly so. I raise a lot of money for Gaza. I support the cause wholeheartedly, but also I think it'd be hypocritical of me to not talk about other things that are going on, like in Sudan, and obviously Afghanistan is the most recent one. Millions of places like Syria, Yemen, been going on for a long time, but the floods in Afghanistan have just happened. I work with HCI Canada, which are a charity that work specially in disasters. So as soon as a disaster strikes somewhere, we go in and we are able to help immediately, help the families, help build things back up, help people that really need it in that moment when the disaster is stricken. So as this is our speciality, and as what's happened in Afghanistan, it'd be hypocritical of me to not support our brothers and sisters in Afghanistan when I'm supporting them in Gaza. So please do the same, and please, if you're able to, donate to my cause. The link is in the description of this video and in the comments. Even if it's just a little bit, make sure you're not just supporting Palestine. Make sure you're supporting as many causes as possible, and this one needs our attention right now. This video is such a special video, and I haven't seen it yet, but the title of it is Thousands of Argentinians Queue to Convert to Islam. I mean, that is a catchy title if I've ever seen one before. So let's find out what the reason why is.
She has taken that ceremonial bath to prepare her to utter the shahada. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah.
Sekarang kita sholat dulu ya, siap-siap dulu ya. Kita habis ini. Sekarang kita mau sholat isya dulu ya.
Hello Muslim friends of the world. The Western world's interest in Islam seems increasingly unstoppable. As seen in Argentina, they are willing to queue to get real information about this religion. This scene was seen at the King Fahd Mosque, Argentina recently. There are so many people curious about Islam that the number of visitors has to be regulated in such a way. After investigating, apparently the mosque management was holding several agendas about Islam, starting from showing documentary films about Islam, which attracted quite a lot of interest from visitors. Thus, several groups were forced to queue to enter the area inside the mosque. Many of them were curious and wanted to see firsthand the prayer activities carried out by Muslims. The activity was continued with a short study of Islamic teachings which closed with a question and answer session. Suddenly, the Argentinians immediately seized this opportunity. The mosque administrator initially explained the pillars of Islam and the pillars of faith. Then, it was also explained that Jesus was a prophet who had a special position in Islam, including that his mother was believed to be a holy woman. On that occasion, one of the Argentinian women asked the mosque administrator whether Islam also has a head, leader, like the church. No, we only have Allah and the Prophet Muhammad. All Muslims are the same, said a sheikh who attended the activity. He then explained that the sheikh is a guiding teacher in Islam. He is the same as a teacher. Sheikhs in Islam are the same as other normal people. They can marry, they can have families. It's not like in Catholicism, where priests or nuns are not allowed to marry, he said. We have families. All the prophets married and had families. The prophets and apostles were the best people in the world. We follow their guidance. There are no holy people in Islam, he continued. Another question that is also asked by Argentinian citizens is, why do you have to take off your shoes when entering a mosque? Because this carpet is a place for worship, it must be clean. We bow down here, explained the sheikh. He also emphasized that worship in Islam is very easy and simple. Prayers can be done anywhere, not only at the mosque, but also at home, on the street or other places. As is known, quite a lot of countries with non-Muslim populations are quite curious about Islam. So it is not surprising that the mosques there are open to the public and are almost always busy with non-Muslims. On average, they want to see Muslim worship directly, and many of them are even interested in embracing Islam. Generally, they are interested in converting to Islam because they feel peace and tranquility within themselves after seeing and hearing direct explanations of the true teachings of Islam. On the other hand, quite a few non-Muslims admitted that they were initially afraid to learn about Islam because of the negative stigma spread by the Western world. The propaganda that is most often raised is that the Islamic religion is synonymous with terrorism. However, because of their high curiosity, they finally had the courage to attend the mosque and finally got the correct information about Islamic teachings. Argentina is one of the southern countries of South America and the country with the second largest area after Brazil. This country has quite a lot of population growth, namely 0.93%, so that in 2022 the population will reach 46 million people. Quoted from Findizin, of the total population, the community is divided into several religious groups, namely Christians, Protestants, Evangelicals, Roman Catholics, and Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons, as much as 79.6%, no religion 18.9%, atheists 6%, agnostics 3.2%, and Islam 1.2%. Of the several percentages of adherents of these religions, the largest percentage is Christianity and the lowest is Islam. The presence of Islam as a minority country in Argentina has always been associated with the Spanish conquest and also exploration from America. The presence of Islam in Argentina can be attributed to the Spanish conquest and also the exploration of America. The first Muslim settlers were called the Moors in the 15th century, who explored America at the same time as Spanish explorers. Moors refers to Muslims of North African and Spanish descent who were forced to convert to Christianity after the practice of proselytizing Islam was banned. To escape persecution, many fled and settled in this South American state. After moving, the Moors first established a mosque in the 80s, namely the At-Tawhid Mosque, which was open to the Shia community in 1983 and received support from the Iranian embassy. The second mosque building is the Al-Rahman Mosque, which was built in 1985 for the Sunni community and is the second mosque building for the Muslim community. Apart from these two mosques, there is the King Fahd Mosque, which was built in 1996 and was funded by the King of Saudi Arabia and is the largest mosque in America. Quoted from Amalaya.com, the Muslim community in South America has experienced a decline in recent years due to internal factors within the community. Islamic traditional habits and practices have begun to disappear. This is because the previous generation has died and has not passed on Islamic knowledge to the next generation. Apart from that, many Muslim descendants only speak Spanish.
Okay, lots of points. One, Arabic is very important, and I strongly recommend everyone learns Arabic. I've been learning for 3 years now, properly, and yeah, it's changed my life when reading the Quran. Anyway, I wanted to say that. So I really have to say that I actually interviewed a revert who lived in Argentina for a while as a Christian, and when she was living in Argentina, that was actually the country that put her off Christianity. I remember her telling me about how she would go to the church and they would always be collecting all this money for charity, like for charity for the church. Then these like priests and stuff would be driving around in big expensive cars, and she didn't like it. And I think, you know, we have that in our religion too, and people can say what they want about that. Some people say, you know, people can do what they want with their money, but I believe that, you know, people who want to get closeness to God shouldn't be indulging in the luxuries of life too much, you know, to an extent. But I think we have a responsibility with our wealth, and we have a big responsibility with our wealth. And part of being a pious Muslim is somebody who cares for others, and somebody who would rather see the people in Palestine liberated than drive a Ferrari. That's just my opinion. People who drive Ferraris, I don't judge them because I don't know what their situation is, but I'm just saying I get why this sister left Christianity because of that reason, and why she found a lot of peace in Islam, because we are more modest in that sense. We don't believe in showing off our luxuries. We don't believe in sort of like talking about how amazing we are or indulging in those things. You know, we live for this life. A lot of people are going to get annoyed by me saying that, but that's just my opinion on that. Like, I mean, these big beautiful mosques, again, they're not really for us. They are for the non-Muslims. They are for people like me. When I went to Turkey for the first time, and when I went as a tourist into Blue Mosque and I saw the beauty and I was stunned by it, I mean, that's kind of what they're for. We don't need beautiful mosques in order to feel connected to our religion. We don't need it to feel connected to God. But it kind of draws in the people who are interested, like me, who thought, wow, this is such a beautiful, beautiful architecture. I have to see what's inside. And it was just as beautiful inside. And the peace I felt inside the mosque for the first time. And again, watching people pray, it's so powerful. I remember just sitting back in the area where all the non-Muslims were and just watching the Muslims pray. So powerful. I remember the first thought that went through my head was, I want to do that. I want to learn how to do that amazing skill, because at the time it felt like an unattainable skill of the Arabic they were saying and the positions they were doing and knowing what to do. I was like, I really, really want to do that. And it does take a bit of effort, but I mean, it's worth it. And I loved that I had that experience. I don't know if I would have discovered Islam without that experience. I mean, that's the route Allah chose for me, right? But I don't know if I could have become, I definitely wouldn't have become Muslim talking to these dawah people, because my brain doesn't work in that way. Those arguments don't really click with me. For me, it was all about the feeling inside I got inside of that mosque. I'm more of an empathetic person. I'm more of a feeling person, not really a logical person, you know. That's what the dawah is for those logical minds. And I'm not like that. It doesn't work on me. So for me, being able to experience and stepping into the shoes of a Muslim and seeing what it was like for the Muslims, that's what made me want to become Muslim. Being around Muslims. It was such an incredible time, and hearing the adhan and just like all the senses coming alive and having that deep desire inside of me of I have to know more, and reading the Quran. And I read the entire Quran before I became Muslim. So I strongly believe in that kind of dawah. The dawah of letting people into the mosque, showing them what it is that you do, letting them step into the shoes of a Muslim, know what it's like, let them ask those questions that they don't want to ask. Are Muslims terrorists? Where does terrorism come from? There are a million things that are sort of misconceptions about our religion that people are too scared to ask because they don't want to admit that's what they're thinking. Let people in, let people ask those awkward questions, and you know, you will see this happening, people queuing up to go inside the mosque because they want to experience that peace and they want to know what it's like. Alhamdulillah. Anyway, I feel inspired. I need to pray. I need to go pray now. Thank you guys for watching. Assalamu alaikum.